Okay, sounds good? Okay. Awesome. I've always wanted to be introduced someplace where I would walk on stage and I would hear someone say, now taking the stage at 240 pounds out of Buffalo, New York, it's John Odden. But I never did sports. I was a geek and spent my life in a different way when I was young. And if I was on the stage at whatever pounds out of wherever I happened to be born, it would probably be as Spirit's deep center. You know, that anchor of truth for me, my family, my community, and everyone that I have the blessing to serve. You know, I did have an odd experience. It was a surprise. I have a grandson who's 6 years old, and he's my namesake. And when he was born in Chicago, New York, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, Chicago is Illinois, yeah. In Chicago, Illinois, he's my namesake because I was the first member of the family there before his mom and his dad arrived. And that is a miracle of science. Ask me about it sometime. And then the second miracle was the second grandson who came along 5 years later after they were told, after the miracle of science that got you little John, there's no chance you'll ever be pregnant again. My daughter-in-law got pregnant and had a natural baby, and their family's complete, and that's such a delight. As far as how I ever came to find Science of Mind, I'm one of a number of people, you've already heard from a few, who wandered into Peggy Bassett's church in Huntington Beach. And there I found that truly what I was looking for, this sense of what is spirit and how can that be real and how is it meaningful to each of us, came out of the mouth of that wonderful minister and teacher. And I didn't know where that might take me in my life, really. But I found myself becoming a practitioner and did that for quite a long time and found that the ability to help people who would show up broken and hurt, and that I would have a skill and a talent to share truth for them in a way that would light their life meant everything. And still, that's my favorite thing, to be in that setting where I can share that gift. On another personal note, I actually did marry my bride 76 days ago in Central Park. In fact, I'm a fellow who can make dreams come true because Joan Carolyn shared with me that if she ever did marry again, she'd want to do it right on that bridge in Central Park, New York. And we were there, we saw it. And I remembered and I proposed. And then she said she was just imagining in her fantasy that the horses would draw the carriage up and she would step out and we would have the ceremony. And indeed, in front of the Plaza Hotel, we got on the carriage and we rode up to the park and we stepped out and had just the most beautiful ceremony that, what can I say? It's beautiful. And as far as like where I go with ministry, just to give you a thought on that, my own background academically and professionally was more over in like science and engineering and how does it all work? How do you plug it together? And then over in the world of spirit, starting with Peggy Bassett and many other brilliant teachers, I found what is the truth of the intangible depth, that spiritual core of all of us. And I noticed that they came together. And then I saw a pediment that said, religious science. Yeah, it does all fit together. And so I found that calling to be the one who in this complex, tumultuous world where so many people can feel adrift and disconnected, to speak to that truth and help folks find in community and relationship and within themselves that connection and that unification. And that's what really calls me to be here. Thanks.